So yesterday I uploaded a new video, first one in a very long time, on how I lost 20 pounds in the last 2 months. This was a major breakthrough for me because I have been struggling with these 20 pounds for years, literally years. I was so dead set on keto being the way that I was standing in my own way because I would not look at other possibilities and other ways to reach my goals, and I hit a wall with keto. No one talks about this, but it's really important that we understand that just because you have reached your goals in a specific way with a specific style of eating or pattern, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the same thing that's going to help you reach your goals at this point. Okay, I can't even tell you the thousands of people that I have talked to that have told me that keto once worked for them and then keto stopped working for them. And this, I think, is your signal. And for me, the moment it stopped working for me, I needed to shift gears and find what will work for me. But I was so invested with my time, my energy. I would literally listen to just keto podcast, keto, everything, the books, everything. I was so ingrained in the lifestyle of keto that I literally thought keto was the only thing that would work for me. And so you guys who have been following me for a while, you know I am so huge on using the law of attraction and energy to achieve your goals. And I was blocking my own energy with me being so freaking focused on the way to achieve my goals, when I needed to focus on the outcome. I needed to focus on where I wanted to go, and the way would be shown to me. And that's exactly what happened. So over the summer, in one of my keto daily routine vlogs, I'm not sure which one, I tried finding it, but I literally cannot find it. But I remember sitting down and saying to you guys, right now, I am working on manifesting me reaching my ultimate body goal with complete freedom and flexibility in my life, not feeling like I'm on a diet. And for me to achieve and manifest that into my life, I literally needed to not have been on a diet and have complete food flexibility and freedom in my life. That's what I wanted. I no longer wanted to be on the yo-yo. I no longer wanted to lose weight, gain weight over and over and over again. I don't want to do that anymore. You know, I'm getting close to my 40s. I want to enjoy my life. I've built an amazing life and lifestyle. I want to be able to enjoy it. I don't want to be imprisoned by a diet. I love food. I absolutely love food. It's something that I really, really enjoy. And so for me not to be able to enjoy those foods, I think there was a trickle effect of different energies happening within my life where I was just blocking myself from my next level because I was so dead set on, I know exactly how I'm going to achieve this goal. So the law of the universe, the law of attraction works in crazy, crazy ways. And I truly believe that my inner guidance system knew that for me to step out and away from keto, there had to have been something to wake me up, something to literally shake me to actually make that decision for myself, because I was so set in my ways with keto. So when I took that microbiome test and all those years that I was dealing with bloating, swelling, you guys have seen it on this channel. I've talked about it in almost every video, how painful my stomach swelling and bloating was. And this swelling and bloating was happening to me while strict keto. I couldn't figure it out. So it wasn't gluten. It wasn't the dairy. I would cut out the dairy. Like I had an allergy test done a while ago, and it told me different things that I'm slightly maybe have an allergy to, like cheese. So I tried cutting that stuff out. That didn't work for me. That didn't give me the actual results. So when I took the microbiome test, I didn't have these big like expectations from it. I was just thinking, okay, this is data. I want to see what's going on. Have I done harm to my microbiome? Is that why I am struggling with the pain and the swelling and the stomach issues? So when I got my results back from my microbiome test, and I found out foods that I was eating all the time, and a lot of people who take this test, I've talked to thousands and thousands of people who have taken this test since I've taken it, their foods are completely different than mine, their avoid list. So like my avoid list said I needed to avoid red meat, which was something I loved in my diet with keto. Like I was eating a lot of bunless burgers over salads. I was eating a lot of steak, literally multiple times a week, maybe even 5 days a week. I was eating red meat in some sort. So I needed to remove the red meats. I needed to focus more on like chicken, salmon, vegetables, but also there were some carbs on there that like oatmeal that my body is considers a superfood that I would respond very, very well to. And this is where I think the law of attraction is a genius, because it literally knew I needed to see this information at the exact moment for me to make the decision, okay, I'm done with, I'm separating myself from keto. And when I decided to leave keto, people were literally shocked, like so surprised and upset, like very upset that I was leaving keto. People actually wanted to see me achieve my goal with keto. And because I'm achieving my goal without keto, it's like bothering people. It's so interesting. But I had to do what was right for me. I had to do what was the correct path for me. And I needed to be able to be okay with the fact that I'm no longer in the keto community anymore. It's a very tight-knit tribe of people where people have the same views and stuff on glucose and blood sugar and carbs and all of these things. I needed to be okay separating myself from that. So that was a big decision of mine. I mean, keto was a big part of my identity. As insane as that is, it almost feels like I got like roped into a cult or something. And I compare this to like a abusive relationship. That's the best way that I can compare this, because for so long with the yo-yo, I would be strict keto and then I would have I would have some carbs, I would feel intense guilt, feel like I did something wrong to my body, and then I would gain all this weight, and then I would go back to keto because it was the only thing that I knew. But then I didn't realize I was continuing this cycle over and over and over and over and over again in my life. And that was the most painful part about this whole thing, was just doing the same thing over and over again and not getting anywhere. So, I think the microbiome test was mainly a catalyst to help me make this change. I never would have gave up red meat, never on my own as just an idea to do. I've listened to vegans, I've listened to all of that side of things, the world. I follow some longevity experts, Dr. David Sinclair. He talks about how red meat is not the best thing for longevity and anti-aging. But even with that data and that information, I still never would have given it up. It was only until I literally got it in like paperwork in my face saying, you need to give this up. You will feel so much better. This will get rid of the pain, the bloating, the swelling. Your microbiome's no longer going to be releasing toxins into your body, right? And I don't have to give up the red meat forever. And if you're watching this, you actually might not have to give up red meat. A lot of people. Actually, I have a bunch of, like, one of my really good friends, red meat came up on her enjoy list. So like she's focused on eating more red meat, whereas some of the things that came up on my like superfood list is on her avoid list. It's insane how individualized it is and how different this is. So you guys know, like, I'm not affiliated with the actual microbiome company in any way. I literally was just a customer who found this test, took it for myself. I bought my own kit. I didn't reach out to the company. I wasn't looking for a brand deal. I wasn't looking for some way to, like, I don't know, sell microbiome tests. I wasn't. I literally just bought it for myself. It's changed my life. And now I share it with you guys, and I'm given discount codes and stuff to be able to offer you guys like huge discounts off these kits. So if you want to try it for yourself, I'm telling you, this one test could probably be the biggest thing that could change the trajectory of your future, especially if you've been stuck with a single lifestyle for a very long time. Like maybe you've been vegan for a while, maybe you've been paleo for a while, maybe you've been doing food flexibility for a while and you're stuck. Maybe you've been keto, maybe you've been low carb, maybe whatever it is. I think it's extremely valuable to get the data to understand how your body is reacting to specific foods so that you'll get a target. You'll have a very clear target of what to eat and what not to eat. And I do believe that customized food list is our future based on our own personal needs, our own personal body, versus just a one size fits all. Don't eat this, eat this. That is like so far in the past, okay? So I will never be able to give you, and I will never give you a meal plan, a food list, do this, do that, because I don't know how your body is gonna react to some foods. And the only way that you're gonna know is if you test it. So I will put the link in the description if you want to get your own at-home kit. You mail it off to them, they analyze it, they literally give you all the data, they give you very descriptive breakdown of even all of the gut bugs in your body, in your system. The other cool thing that they do is they will create custom supplements based on your results. I was very skeptical of this aspect of it because I was thinking, you know what? I know what multivitamins that I need to take. I need to take magnesium. I know I need to take selenium. I need to take this. Like, I know what I need to take. Okay? Well, based on my results, they actually create these custom vitamins that also include your superfoods in there, things that your body really like craves and needs. And they create like 8 individual capsules. Okay, so I decided to do like a month of that. I was like, you know what? I'll just do the month of it and see how that goes. At this point, I wasn't thinking about fat loss for me. I was just thinking about moving on from keto and trying to not gain any more weight. I just wanted to live a flexible eating lifestyle, no more pain, stomach discomfort issues. And I wasn't thinking fat loss at this point. But I was like, I'll try the supplements for a month to see how that goes. So I did the probiotics plus the vitamins that they create for me specifically. I felt great. Like, when I say I felt great, guys, I'm going on now, this will be my 3rd month, 2 months since I focused on the fat loss, but 3 months since I got my microbiome data back and since I started consuming these custom vitamins, and I have not had any bloating, any stomach discomfort, any swelling at all, except for 2 times, and those 2 times was when I ate food that was on my avoid list. Like, absolutely mind-blowing and crazy. I can't tell really how the actual supplements are making an impact because I have to test again. I need to go get everything tested again. They say to test usually between 4 to 6 months from the time you get your data back and you start implementing to see the improvements that you've had. So I'm going to test again, and then I will come back in here and I'll give you guys the results of my improvements there. But they also break down like your cellular data. In this video, the point of it was not to go into the microbiome, but I do think the microbiome is such a huge part of why I am where I am right now. And I feel like anyone who doesn't, and I know that not everybody can afford it, but if you can afford it, I mean, that is the one thing that I wish I had done years ago that would have helped change the trajectory, and I wouldn't have faced so much struggle and pain over these years. So, but you can get your microbiome test done and you can get that data back and you can not actually lose any weight just by following the recommended food list. It's not like keto where you just eat the foods that are keto and you lose weight. You need to actually be mindful of the amount and the quantity of food that you eat. And I believe this is the same for keto too. It's just when you're following keto, a lot of the times you're not as hungry, and so it's easier for you to manage how much food you're actually consuming and eating. So typically someone with keto is just naturally eating less, and that's what leads them to the fat loss. And that's where long-term lifestyle with keto becomes a struggle because you end up craving more food and you end up eating more. Just at least that was what happened to me. Over time, more keto foods and then more food when you're not keto. And so with a food flexibility lifestyle, you can eat anything that you want, any types of food that you want, but you want to stay in a negative energy balance so that your body is able to burn the stored fat off your body. It's there for access to use when a fuel is needed for your body. Now, whether or not you do that with fasting is totally your choice. I there's specific reasons why I like integrating fasting in with this, and mainly because when you fast and you allow insulin to drop for long periods of time in the fasted state, your body has easy access to your stored fat for fuel. It doesn't have to opt to lower your metabolic rate. Those are the reasons why I think, based on what I've read and what I've listened to and what I've heard, again, I'm not an expert in any way. I'm just telling you what I do and why I do it and the reasons for that. And you can kind of put into place how you want to do that within your lifestyle, how it seems best for you, okay? Now, if you're new to fasting, I would suggest starting with 2MAD, 2 meals a day, versus going straight to OMAD. I worked my way up to OMAD over time, over the years, basically, of doing keto and intermittent fasting kind of combined together. This is the first time that I've done intermittent fasting, but allowing a food flexibility lifestyle. So that when I don't have that restriction, and this is one big thing, guys, that I want to bring up, and I want you guys to really understand why I think keto was not what I should have been doing, especially when I'm doing fasting. When you restrict carbohydrates, your body is going to try to get and make and create glucose for your brain. And so when you are fasting and then you eat a meal, your body's actually going to use some of the protein from that meal in gluconeogenesis to make glucose to fuel other aspects of your body that needs the glucose, like your brain. So now you're not actually using that protein in ways that you could be creating muscle and optimizing your body composition, but your body is taking from that protein to like create glucose that it is starving of. So when you actually eat the glucose with the meal and your body gets that glucose, it can then take the protein, it can take the other nutrients of the foods that you're eating, and it can actually utilize it in a proper way. And I do believe this is why the flexible eating lifestyle and adding in the carbs and the glucose is helping me reach my goals. In addition to the fact that when you eat carbs, it's much more filling because it takes up a larger density of space versus a lot of these low carb ketogenic foods. Now, some days I just naturally eat less carbs. Some days I eat a lot higher carbs. And some days I eat a lot less calories, and some days I eat higher calories. But this is good. You want to keep your body changing and guessing. You don't want to be just doing the exact same thing day in, day out, over and over and over and over again, except for the fasting aspect. Because when you do fasting, and when you're fasting every single day, you are actually training your hunger hormones to make it very easy for you to be able to do this. Plus, you're giving your digestive system a really long break, and that break is allowing your body to heal and repair areas of your digestive system. So maybe if you have leaky gut, that sort of thing, they can help with that, right? So I would recommend, and some days I do 2MAD, which is 2 meals a day. And so either I'm doing OMAD 1 meal or I'm doing 2MAD. Either way, the calories that I'm consuming are exactly the same, okay? So I consume around 1,400 to up to 1,700 calories while I am focusing on a deficit. I can eat all the way up to 2,200 calories if I want to maintain, which is a good idea to do maybe for like a week at a time after going like a long 30-day stretch. So if you're in a deficit for 30 days, it's good to go a couple days or a week with what they call a diet break, where you just eat at maintenance levels. That might be over 2,000 calories a day for those days. And typically, like if you're on vacation or if it's a holiday, that's the perfect time to do that. And that allows you the flexibility to kind of eat a little bit more, but also help your metabolic rate recover so you're not doing too much damage to the amount of calories you're burning at resting. That's how I've kind of been integrating this in. It's all mostly about the calories, but it's also about the insulin where you want that to drop. So I'm not snacking in between. So if I'm doing 2 meals, and like, let's say I have a 6-hour eating window, right? So I fasted 18 hours and then I've got a 6-hour eating window and I'm fitting 2 meals in that 6 hours. I'm not snacking in there. I'm not eating that whole time. Okay, and that's really important to know because every time you eat anything, your body releases insulin. Carbs or not, it doesn't matter. If you eat anything, your body's releasing insulin. Now, the other thing is, prior to this, when I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong with keto, and I started doing like the water fasting, right? So while I was fasted, I would only consume water or black coffee. And if you guys remember, I did a 30-day stretch of OMAD with keto, where I did keto and I did water fasting. So in my fasted window, I only had water. I think I lost around 10 pounds in that 30 days, but then I had a vacation. This is the difference, okay, guys? So then I had a vacation, a week, or it was longer. It was almost 10 days. Vacation with my family, like my extended family, my in-laws and all of them. And in this vacation, I was eating around the clock and I was eating carbs. And I was going absolutely nuts because I had been restricted for so long with that 30 days. And so guess what happened? I gained back the 10 pounds plus some. Okay? So that's where now combining the OMAD, the time restricted eating plus the food flexibility, now when I go on vacation, I'm still eating the same foods. So the actual foods aren't changing. I'm just shifting from 1 meal to 2 meals, okay? Which makes it so easy for me because now I'm not gonna get the swelling, the bloating, and all of that stuff, and I'm not gonna feel like I have I stepped back. Because there's no falling back with this. There's no being off track with this. Now, when I'm doing OMAD with the food flexibility, during my fasted windows, I am not just consuming water. I am having the ketones, and I'm having 2 different varieties of ketones. I'm doing a pro, which is a protein plus ketone. So I'm doing that in the first part of my fasted window. Okay, like in the morning to lunch, like typically it's 1 hour before I break my fast, I will have this shake. I just shake it with ice and water. It's just the pro shake, okay? It's actually like a lower protein with the ketone, so it helps you with stay with the autophagy while after you consume it, because too much protein can knock you out of the autophagy, okay? So then I have my OMAD meal, and then I have my ketone at the beginning of my next fasted window. You can do the ketones at any time during your fasted time. And some days I'm having a ketone in the morning as well, fasted, not just black coffee and water. So I think that was a really good experience for me, an experiment for me to realize that all these other things that I thought were probably the problem were not the problem. It was actually the foods that I was eating that was the problem. And I needed to have more balance into my lifestyle. And so that specific strategy helps me because now I've got the appetite control for fasting and I've got the hunger control. I have no urge to snack and I'm able to go these long distances fasted very easily and effortlessly. And I don't feel like I need to like go take a 10-day vacation where I just eat around the clock all the things. I don't feel any urge to binge. I don't feel any of those urges because I am allowing myself to eat whatever I want within my 1 meal. Right? Every single day. So I feel great. Like I feel like I've elevated into like a totally other level of my life. And so I'm thankful for it and grateful for it. And I will see you guys in the next one.